It's a feature, not a bug. At least that's what Samsung would have us believe regarding the display on the S24 Ultra. A lot of users, myself included, noted how the S24 Ultra display was significantly less vibrant than previous generations, especially if you're coming from an S21 Ultra. A lot of people noticed that, hey, what the heck is going on here in comparison? And the S22 Ultra, similar, and especially if you held it side by side with the S23 Ultra, it became apparent that there was something up with the display. Now, Samsung's the master of the soft open on PR. We always get and this is what we got. We got the customer service response, somebody coming on, it's on Twitter and posting an image saying, oh, Samsung says, yes, there's a bug in the software and we're working on it. There's going to be a software solution. Just hang in there. So a fix is coming for the vibrancy issue. And then we had the Samsung Spain website and a translated message that we got saying, no, it's intentional. We meant to do this. This is the way the display is supposed to look. And it was like Samsung kind of gauges the internet response to the various fixes that they have out there, the various explanations, and then decides on what course of action to take. And we did get the official response from Samsung that, yes, this is the way the display is supposed to look. Kind of too bad. We'll monitor the feedback of users and see if there's any action that we need to take. Now, Ice Universe, the huge Samsung leaker, says that behind the scenes, Samsung is working on an issue or a fix for this that'll give users a vibrancy slider, in essence, that'll return the usability of the vivid mode that would allow users the choice to keep the natural display, because Samsung says it helps with eye fatigue. So you could keep the natural display and the natural colors, or you could up it to where the S23 Ultra was, or you can even take it all the way back to the S21 Ultra, which might as well have been the S3, which is when people complained about how cartoony the displays were on the Galaxy. Now, look, if this is possible, if this technology is out there, if the display can handle it, why wouldn't you give people the option to choose the experience they want? That's Android. That's the point. We have customization. The display is able to do it. So why wouldn't we have that ability to alter the slider back and forth and give a more vivid experience if that's what people want? Now, the natural eye stuff and whatever is completely valid, because I had a lot of people on my video when I was complaining about the display saying, hey, I love the new display. It's great. I could use this phone for hours at a time and not have any issue with eye fatigue. My eyes don't hurt. I could use it for longer, all the rest of it. I get that. Hey, that's fine. If that's something that you like, you should have the ability to keep it on natural mode and get that experience if that's what you want. But for the rest of us who kind of enjoy Samsung devices in part because of those vibrant, poppy, gorgeous, saturated displays, give us that option as well. I don't see the harm in having either or between the two. The other thing is, I don't know if this is a CYA thing. I don't know if Samsung is trying to cover themselves a little bit for a fumble, but you can't tell me that they released this device and this is the way that the mode on the screens is supposed to work. Because I have a Galaxy A55 that we're going to have on the channel soon. I'm reviewing that one. Love that device, by the way, especially for the money. $200, very hard to beat. But you can't tell me that the vibrancy mode and the vivid mode on that device, a $200 device, works significantly better than it does on this device here. There's no way that a software option on a $1,300 phone should act like this, where literally nothing happens. That can't have been the design. That can't have been the idea when they were setting out with the S24 Ultra display. So I don't know if there is a bug here that they have to fix. I don't know if there is anything that they have to work on. But whatever it is, I would like to see that slider back and forth where you can change it to the S21 Ultra if you want. You could change it to the S23 Ultra if you want, or you could keep it natural like the Samsung says on the S24 Ultra and have that kind of limited eye fatigue back and forth. So that's really, to me, is the issue. Give us the option. Give us the choice. Don't just be, Tech Odyssey had a great video the other day where he said basically they're giving you the Apple treatment. And that extends, let me tell you something, that extends a lot further beyond just the display technology. That gets into the design, kind of the malaise that they've gotten into with this design that they have on the S24 Ultra. It gets into a lot of different areas that Samsung has. And Samsung is definitely trying to be, and Google is as well. You know, you can sit there and hate on Apple all you want. And you can say, well, we're Android, we're better than Apple and all the rest of it. But from a business standpoint, Android manufacturers spend a heck of a lot of time trying to take things from the Apple playbook. And you want to know why? Because they advantage the company. There are things that make more money. There are things that sit there at our expense, at the consumer's expense, and put more money in the executives' pockets. They sell more phones. They don't necessarily give us features that we want. They don't necessarily give us some things that we are asking for, but they absolutely affect the bottom line. So Samsung has been as good as anyone. You know, Google's getting pretty good at it. Samsung's getting pretty good at it as well with these devices. The other thing is the always-on display. You know, why did we have to go to something like this? You know, people could like it. That's fine. Give us the option. It's a software thing. We're not talking about there's no always-on display chip in here that has to physically go around and be swapped out if you wanted a little picture of my cat on the always-on display. Give us both. I can't stand OnePlus because of the way they limit the always-on display, especially since it's a software thing. Why would you need to do that? Same thing with the display technology. Great. You want to give people the option to have a natural mode where they could sit there and have no eye fatigue and they can look at display. And if you're, and I get why you need that. If you're if you're a photographer, if you're a videographer, if you're somebody who's big on social media, you handle company social media, all the rest of it, color accurate displays are important to you. You need to be able to see what your customers are intended to see. I get that completely. But for the rest of us who aren't, who spent $1,300 and would like the flexibility that we're used to on a Samsung Galaxy device and an Android device, the rest of us don't have to sit there and take that, do we? That's my problem. That's my problem. This wasn't a $500 phone. It's like, you kind of get what you get, right? You know, you get it and it's nice and thanks for putting it out in the first place kind of deal. It's not that. You don't get that. Samsung doesn't get that kind of flexibility. Samsung doesn't get that pass, that mulligan, where you could sit there and say, it's okay. You know, they get the OnePlus pass where it's, it's $800. You know, it's okay. It's $800. You know, the Google pass, it's $900 and we get a lot of the features and stuff like that. You don't get that at $1,300. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable to sit here and want the experience that I'm used to on a Galaxy device. A lot of people buy Galaxy devices because of the display. It's poppy, it's vibrant, it's great. Great for games. Just for, social media looks amazing on it. There's several reasons why we'd want the display back the way it was. And I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for a software solution, especially when it's possible. It's an intentional move, right? If Samsung did it intentionally, then they can intentionally change it back. Or at least give users a way to switch between the two modes, like they have there. I don't know. Maybe they should make the vivid and natural modes work the way they're supposed to. Just a thought. Look, on the whole, I love the device. On the whole, it works great. There's going to have very little complaints with performance and all the rest of it. AI stuff, S Pen stuff. There's very little to complain about with the S24 Ultra. But you use the display 100% of the time you're using the phone. I don't know how many times I've said that. The display, to me, is one of the biggest specs that you can have on a device. And when there's something wrong with it, it bugs me. And the fact that I can look at an A15, a $200 Samsung device, and say hand on heart that it has a more vibrant OLED panel than the S24 Ultra is nonsense. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day. Look, if you've made it this far, you're definitely a fan of the channel. I appreciate that. We're back to the old desk here for now. We have some sound proofing stuff up off to the side. I have a new mic that I'm trying now to try to eliminate any sort of other sound in here. So I appreciate you bearing with me. It's been very tough to get videos out. I've been sick on top of it. So I really appreciate you guys who keep watching. And like I said, until next time, have that Steve-licious day.